In the past weeks, I have been discussing my works and the activities I engage in. Last week, I focused on my travels. Now, I believe it's time for me to shift my attention to the information contained in my books. One aspect I find challenging in this approach is that I am accustomed to delivering lectures before live audiences. Being able to gauge their reactions and receive immediate feedback is something I miss, as opposed to sitting in my office, staring at the wall, and imagining an audience that may be listening. Despite this, I've authored 13 books, covering a substantial amount of material related to metaphysics, strains, paranormal phenomena, and the unusual. Those who have followed my previous shows are aware that my work is grounded in my experiences with hypnosis. All the information I write about is derived from my sessions with clients over the past 30 years, involving thousands of individuals. I don't channel information, rather, I act as a reporter, compiling and presenting the data. Tonight, I intend to discuss my book, Between Death and Life, acknowledging that I may only scratch the surface due to its extensive content. Typically, I'm accustomed to speaking on this topic for as long as 3 hours, but I'll endeavor to condense the most crucial aspects within the confines of an hour. When I've addressed this subject at Unity churches, there have been instances where people questioned if it was a mistake, considering the title should be Between Life and Death. However, I clarify that it accurately reflects the existence one experiences after departing the earthly plane and transitioning to the spirit side. This is why I chose to name it Between Death and Life. In my work with past life regressions, it is imperative to guide the process correctly. The hypnotist must navigate through the most pivotal days and events in the person's past life, connecting them to their current life. When executed accurately, this journey includes revisiting the death experience, as many present-day challenges stem from the circumstances of their previous life's demise. I've heard of hypnotists who dismiss this approach, claiming it cannot be done, but I stand by its significance. If an individual were to relive their death in another life, there might be concerns about potential physical repercussions in their current life, especially given the profound depth of the regression work I undertake. Some caution against approaching the death experience, deeming it dangerous, and advise against delving into it. However, in my 3 decades of consistent work in this field, I have found no evidence of danger. I firmly believe that exploring the death experience provides a wealth of information, particularly in understanding and addressing problems in the present lifetime, such as phobias rooted in past life deaths. Nevertheless, I emphasize that past life regression is not a casual endeavor, it requires expertise and should not be taken lightly. While I cannot rule out the possibility of danger in inexperienced hands, proper training and knowledge are crucial. In my extensive experience, I have guided individuals through a variety of death scenarios, ranging from ordinary deaths in hospitals to more traumatic events such as hangings, burnings, and war-related fatalities. Even in instances where participants relived deaths from plane crashes or experienced the impact of the atomic bomb in Hiroshima, I have not observed any physical repercussions on the individuals undergoing regression. It is essential to approach such therapy with professionalism and sensitivity, recognizing that the therapist must be skilled and knowledgeable to navigate the complexities involved. For those seeking a therapist, I recommend relying on gut instincts and feelings of trust. If a potential therapist doesn't inspire comfort, it's advisable to seek someone else. This principle applies universally to therapy. A lack of comfort can hinder the process and results. The subconscious mind plays a protective role during regression, ensuring that only information in the individual's best interest surfaces. Trusting one's instincts is paramount, and if a therapist doesn't evoke comfort, finding a more suitable professional is essential. Despite the potential concerns surrounding the death experience in past life regression, my extensive practice has not revealed any problems associated with this aspect of the therapeutic process. The information presented in my book, between death and life, stems from my extensive work with hundreds of individuals. While it may seem as if one person is narrating certain parts of the book, it is, in fact, a compilation and synthesis of insights gathered from a diverse array of people. I view this process akin to a scientific experiment. If numerous individuals independently recount similar experiences regarding the sensations and events accompanying death, as well as their journeys on the other side, it provides scientific evidence due to its repeatability and verifiability. These participants are unrelated, unaware of each other, and unfamiliar with the details I seek, yet they consistently share comparable stories. The commonality in their reports about the death experience, the places they visit after passing, and the interactions with masters and elders add significant validity to their collective testimonies. In contrast, my daughter, who worked as a nurse in intensive care for many years, shared poignant stories of elderly patients dying in fear. These individuals, often influenced by their church teachings, believed that imperfection would condemn them to hell. Regardless of a lifetime of virtuous living, the fear instilled by such beliefs marred their final moments. I find this approach unhelpful and detrimental, as it robs individuals of the peace they deserve in their last moments. I advocate for a perspective that recognizes the repetitive nature of life, death, and the journey to the other side. While such memories fade during each new life, the understanding that death is a common and natural process, free from unnecessary fear, should prevail. Through my extensive work, I have never encountered evidence of a hell. The notion of a loving deity subjecting individuals to eternal suffering contradicts the compassionate nature one would expect from a divine being. I draw an analogy to parental love, emphasizing that just as parents offer their children opportunities to learn from mistakes, a benevolent higher power would not impose everlasting punishment. As mothers, we stand by our children through thick and thin, supporting them in understanding and rectifying their errors rather than condemning them harshly. Now, what distinguishes a loving father or a loving God from such punitive measures? A benevolent deity would not subject his children to such harsh treatment. I have extensively delved into Bible research, a topic I will further explore in future discussions. I am aware that the concept of hell did not originate from the original Bible. In all my research, I have consistently found a theme of total forgiveness upon crossing to the other side. Earthly life is perceived as a school where individuals come to learn various lessons. The challenges faced may vary in difficulty, but individuals willingly choose their challenges before entering. Regardless of any wrongdoing or adversity faced on earth, the ultimate judgment lies on the other side. However, this perspective contradicts the teachings of many churches. I also want to emphasize that virtually every religion in the world originally had reincarnation as its foundation. Research reveals that even early Christianity embraced reincarnation until the 5th century when the Church was officially founded. During the Fifth Council, decisions were made regarding what would be included in the Bible, and doctrines related to rebirth were deliberately excluded. This historical information is well documented in church records from the time of these councils. I do not intend to challenge or undermine anyone's religious beliefs, rather, I advocate for questioning and seeking additional knowledge. It is possible to maintain one's faith while also exploring alternative perspectives. I respect various religious beliefs and have collaborated with different religions worldwide. My aim is to encourage individuals to ask questions and seek a broader understanding. There is a wealth of information available in books and through interactions with people who can help explore these ideas without necessarily conflicting with one's religious beliefs. It's often said that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. My intention is to offer an alternative perspective for those ready to explore beyond their current understanding. I'll start by discussing what happens when a person dies, drawing from the accumulated research spanning numerous years, with consistent patterns emerging from various accounts. For those experiencing a simple, non-violent death, such as from a lingering illness or in a hospital setting, the common narrative unfolds. Initially, they report feeling very cold, followed by an almost instantaneous transition to a state where they find themselves standing beside their bed, observing their lifeless body. In this moment, there's often a realization of their physical appearance, with remarks like, "I didn't know I looked so bad." The excitement follows as they comprehend the reality. They are free from the confines of their physical form. The sense of liberation and freedom from the limitations of the body is described as exhilarating. They express a newfound ability to go anywhere and do anything, embracing the liberation from the constraints of the physical body's deterioration. In contrast, individuals who have faced violent deaths, such as in war, where they are abruptly separated from their bodies, may experience confusion. Unlike those who anticipate their impending death, sudden removal from the body can lead to disorientation as they grapple with the swift change. Nevertheless, for the majority experiencing a typical death, the process is described as remarkably smooth, a seamless transition comparable to rising from one chair and settling into another. It's essential to recognize that the body is viewed as a temporary vessel, akin to a suit of clothes. This perspective emerges consistently from those I've worked with over the years. The body, in this analogy, serves as a temporary housing for the real essence, the spirit, the soul, the divine spark from God. Individuals often describe themselves as a tiny spark, with the realization that the physical body is merely a suit of clothes tailored for a particular lifetime. Similar to any garment, it will inevitably wear out, necessitating its eventual discarding. The attachment to the current body, cultivated over the course of a lifetime, is acknowledged, yet the moment of death brings about a profound understanding that this vessel can be cast off, allowing the journey to continue unencumbered. In this transition, individuals often express the extraordinary beauty awaiting them on the other side. This existence is likened to a school, a place where individuals come to learn. Unlike conventional educational systems, here you can have to repeat a grade, but skipping a grade is not an option. Advancement to the next level is only possible after passing all the tests and lessons assigned in the present lifetime. Whether this progression occurs within the same lifetime or extends to the next is contingent on mastering the required lessons. The primary reasons for incarnating on Earth, as I've been informed, are to acquire knowledge, confront limitations, and experience emotions, all within the framework of free will, a distinguishing feature of this earthly realm. Earth is considered a challenging planet, and souls undertaking lessons here are deeply admired. The notion is emphasized that if one fails to learn in the current lifetime, they must return to work through the lessons anew. Many individuals find themselves repeating similar life situations because the underlying lessons remain unlearned. Recognizing that individuals have control over their lives and create their experiences marks a crucial understanding. With this realization, they can progress to the next lesson, which may or may not bring about better circumstances. The step-by-step nature of this learning process is stressed, illustrating that one cannot leap from kindergarten to college. Each lesson must be diligently worked through. The idea that perfection is a prerequisite for returning to God is presented, acknowledging the impossibility of achieving perfection in a single lifetime due to the vast amount of knowledge to be acquired. Karma, accumulated over many lifetimes, is seen as a debt that must be addressed and repaid. While forgiveness is attributed to God, the law of karma is portrayed as unyielding and requires individuals to be mindful of their actions to avoid accumulating additional karmic debt. The principle that what goes around comes around is emphasized, reinforcing the inevitability of facing the consequences of one's actions, whether in the current or future lives. Ultimately, there is no escape from the repercussions of accumulated karma, and individuals are urged to be conscious of their behavior to avoid the burdensome task of dealing with unresolved karmic debts. Addressing accumulated karma indeed requires many lifetimes, and the ultimate goal is to break free from the cycle, transcending the wheel of karma. The idea is to cease the repetitive cycle of incarnations on Earth, allowing for progression through different spiritual realms. Advancement involves learning and evolving spiritually. In your exploration of Jesus in your books, a significant theme emerges, that Jesus, in essence, aimed to guide humanity away from the wheel of karma. He observed people caught in a repetitive cycle, making the same mistakes and accumulating karma without spiritual advancement. Jesus sought to show a path to break free from this cycle and ascend spiritually. The key to this liberation, as highlighted, is love. Love is presented as the answer to all challenges. Jesus expressed that a world infused with love would be devoid of violence and war, emphasizing these teachings to lead people toward understanding and embodying love. The original message, however, may have become entangled with religious dogma over time. Yet, at its core, the message revolves around the concept of liberating oneself from the cycle of karma. During your sessions, you guide individuals to rid themselves of old karma and avoid creating new karmic ties. While some may not fully grasp the concept of karma, you describe it as the law of balance in the universe. Everything must find equilibrium, and any imbalances necessitate future incarnations to rectify and restore balance. These universal laws, including the law of karma, are fundamental and unalterable. Recognizing and understanding these laws, you suggest, could foster greater kindness among people, potentially diminishing the occurrence of wars and violence. The awareness of these universal principles may inspire a more compassionate and harmonious existence.